Hello, my name is Sean. Welcome to the Valorbound podcast. I am going to be your DM for the Khalos chapter. To my right, I have...
Devin. I will be playing Limerence, the fairy bard.
My name's Storm, and I play Lix, who is a changeling rogue.
I'm Levi. I will be playing Kara the cleric.
I'm Tom. I'll be playing Ron Haran.
I'm Adia. I'll be playing Eon.
Awesome. So these are going to be your adventurers. Say hi, adventurers.
Hi,
During the Khalos chapter. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, what's Khalos? Well, let me read a quick introduction to the world for you guys. And this goes for the players too. So, welcome, adventurers, to Khalos, once the jewel of our cosmos, now a shattered remnant of its former glory, hanging on to the precipice of oblivion. 22 years ago, disaster struck in the form of a meteor, altering Khalos' orbit and dooming it to a slow death spiral towards its monstrous sun. Before the Cataclysm, Khalos was a paradise, larger than Earth and abundant with diverse biomes that are teeming with life. It is also a world where magic flowed freely and technology thrived in harmony. But the impact has changed everything. Extinction-level events ravaged species and fauna, severing the delicate ley lines of mana that sustain magic across the planet. Civilizations that once flourished are now echoes of their former self. The cultures and traditions that Khalos had have now faded in a single generation. Magic that was once wielded by pretty much everybody now only responds to the naturally gifted and those who stumble upon fragments of Arcanite, remnants of the meteor that are imbued with ley energy. Technology, which was once akin to steampunk, struggles amidst the ruins, and scientists are a rare breed, now work with the Dawnspire in desperate attempts to rebuild what little remains of the world. Now you may be asking yourself, what about the gods? Why didn't they prevent such a thing? Well, the gods, who were once revered and prayed to, now remain silent. Some whisper that the meteor was their final judgment to a world they had forsaken. And yet, amidst all the desolation, clerics and paladin still wield divine power. It's a baffling mystery in these dark times. The gates to other planes have also closed, trapping races who didn't flee before the disaster struck. Planar travel, once a gateway to infinite possibilities, is now a distant memory. So, brave adventurers, in this world where magic flickers uncertainly and civilization teeters on the brink, what are you going to do? Will you seek Arcanite to harness the fading magic? Will you uncover the mysteries of the god's silence? Will you aid in rebuilding what remains Khalos, or perhaps forge your own existence? The choice is yours. Welcome to Khalos. So, there is your intro. Clapping for myself. Fuck you. First and foremost, Khalos is a homebrew world, which means things might happen on this podcast that don't happen on other podcasts. Rules might be different. That happens. We might just do things because they sound fun. Also, some of our players are new. That's okay. This is a learning experience, and we're all friends in real life. So, let's play some D&D, everybody. This is also a video podcast, so if you're interested in seeing what we look like or what the world looks like, or my basement, you can check that out on screen now. And this is the world.
Hi, world.
Hi, world!
Hello, Starshine. Here it says hello.
Oh.
I don't know what that
Is
means.
that copyrighted?
Are we going to get in trouble for that? You legally have to tell me if we're going to get in trouble.
I think it's fine.
Is that allowed?
Chat, is that legal?
If you came here expecting uber professionalism,
Nah.
Beautiful. Okay, so if you guys have minis, correct? Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm going to tell you where to put your minis, and you put them there. We got Lix and Lim in the front horse, all the way over there, both of you.
I don't need to be told where I go.
Eon in the second horse, Ron Harag in the third horse, and Kara in the back horse. All right. It's your TV. If it breaks, it breaks, right? This is not on me. I'm just saying.
Yes.
All right. So, setting the scene. You are in a chain of wagons. 5 wagons in total. On a path through a deciduous forest with pines all around you. The only sounds are horses trotting, on the road, and the occasional murmuring from a guard talking to another guard as they pull the horses forward, chirping of birds in the woods. And all you know is that you've been in these wagons for 2 days, slowly making your way to an unknown destination. And the wagons are about comfortable enough to fit 4 medium-sized individuals. And as we pan down the wagons, we'll go to the first one. In the first wagon, we have 3 people. And I'm going to let them take it away what we see. What do you look like? What are you doing in the wagon? You've been in here for 2 days.
So Lix is about like 5'10", tan skin. He's got like strawberry blonde, almost pink hair. Mostly black leather clothes with a long black cloak that he has the hood kind of like tucked over his face, and a sword sitting by his side. And he's kind of sprawled out as much as he physically can be in this cart. And he's trying his hardest to...
Man spreading real hard.
Really spreading out in this not incredibly big wagon.
He has slept in very small spaces before, and he just will make it work no matter what.
Nice. And directly across from you, we see...
Limerence, a 2/7 fairy, meditating peacefully, knowing that being silent could be the best option in this situation. She wears black robes, fashioned from a life of thievery, to look like a noble. A fairy's approximation of what a noble might look like anyway. Fitted with a necklace of various stones, like a pearl necklace, but they're all just rough-cut rocks.
Beautiful. And in that same wagon behind you is another elf, about a 5.5-foot male elf, looks like a high elf, in very nice clothes, clearly some kind of nobility. And honestly, this guy has not shut up the entire wagon ride. He's just been asking you guys plenty of questions, where you're from, what you were doing before this, what your favorite food is, how did you survive the apocalypse, what have you been doing lately? And as he's saying all of that, I want to take a moment to flash back into Lix's mind.
Okay.
So, noises, insert them here, future Sean. Into the recesses of your mind. I want you to picture the Elven capital, a once beautiful city with large manors and buildings and nature all around it, and towers that are floating and turning in the air magically. And you are on one of those towers outside. It is nighttime. And you throw a rope over the side of the tower. And you rappel down the side of this slowly turning tower to a window. And you look through the window, and you see darkness and a reflection of yourself. But you know what you need is in that window. How do you get through it?
I try to break into it very, very stealthily, you know, just kind of like try to find a trick, like just a little hole in the window to kind of force it open.
Yeah, give me a dexterity check or dexterity check. First roll of the game.
7.
I feel like
Decidedly average.
welcome to the campaign. It's decidedly average. There we go. Woo! I feel like you're nervous because you know what's at stake, and as you're trying to find a secret niche or some way to open the window, you accidentally just lift it up and it opens. Surprised and almost shocked, you almost let go of the rope that you're rappelling on, but you swing into a dark room, and you wander down the room stealthily, as you said.
Yes.
To a crack in the door where light is shining through. It's like a door to a hallway where there's a crack and light is shining through. Would you like to look through?
Yes.
On the other side of that is what looks to be a room of antiques. And in the center of that room is a pedestal. And on that pedestal is a necklace. A gold necklace of what looks to be teeth of some kind, predatory teeth. And you know that is your mark. That is what you are here for. What would you like to do?
I feel like he'd be a bit concerned of what would happen if he were to directly just grab it. So he's just going to grab something out of his pocket that he thinks is about the same weight of it and quickly change them out.
Do like a Indiana Jones
Yeah.
type.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like yeah. You weighing that like just perfectly. Like,
What an
You-
opening.
except for that movie, it didn't work at all. Like, they're like,
Exactly. You're balancing. You're balancing it in your hands. You're looking at the object on the pedestal. You're balancing it in your hands, looking at the object on the pedestal. And right as you go to switch it, all the lights in the room turn off. And you hear from the corner, "I wouldn't do that if I was you."
Who are you?
That's for you to find out. In the meantime, I'm gonna have you meet with some of my friends because I'm very impressed in what you've done here today. And you feel something slide into your pocket, which is a very odd feeling for Licks. For most people, but specifically for Licks, because you are constantly taking things out of people's pockets. And when the lights come back on, there is a card in your pocket, the necklace is gone, and the card has coordinates. And then, phew, we flash back out of your mind into the wagon. Across from you sits Limerence. Limmy. Limmy Limerence. Full name. No. I'll cut that out.
of the Limerence?
No, keep it. You have to keep that. It's all true.
Limmy Limerence.
From Limerick.
From Limerickville. It just keeps getting worse. And this entire wagon ride, not car ride, this half-elf man has just been not half-elf. The regular elf man has just been chatting your ear off, and it is annoying. How are you handling this?
I am doing my best to tune him out. Tuning out elves is a specialty of mine.
What kind of thoughts are you thinking as you're tuning him out? What are you using to tune him out?
The intentions of this forest seem quite deciduous. So I'm
That was a word, was it? I just fucking...
No,
okay, cool.
yeah. So I imagine swamps. They tend to be my happy place, somewhere where everything is alive and interacting. So I'm trying to view the hot air coming out of the elf as the wind in my hair, but the wind kind of smells.
As you are picturing that in your mind's eye, we flash into it, and suddenly you are taken back to a very recent memory where you are feeling hot air in your hair, and it kind of smells bad. And you realize you are in a ruined mine on the outside of the elven capital. And you hear chanting, "No more work! No more work! No more work!" And suddenly you find yourself being hoisted up by a group of other fey creatures and being thrust in front of someone that looks strikingly similar to the person that's in the car or the wagon with you. But to you, maybe all elves look the same. You realize that in this moment, you are at the front of a protest speaking for a union that does not want to work for these elves anymore. How do you proceed?
I would proceed with a rousing speech, a call to action. Good people, workers, laborers, salt of the earth and of the sky. When you look at these elves, do you see people like you? People with scars and marks, people who've struggled? Or do you see a class above? Something that looks down its nose at you, like sniveling rats, when you're the ones who bring them everything that they have. You're the ones who bring the minerals from the earth to them. You bring the food from the forest to them. And what do they have in return for you? Contempt. What should we do about that?
Give me a performance check. We'll see just how rousing this speech was.
Rabble.
Looks like we got a 9.
We're killing it so far.
Decidedly average.
Told y'all not to roll the dice before this.
The feeling around you seems to change. Before it was excitement, and that excitement slowly turns to anger as the first stone is cast into the elf in front of you. And your vision fades out as 35 more stones come flying over your shoulders into this elf noble. And we go back out above into the wagon again, as this elf is just talking to you. Did you hear about the riots? And we pan back out of that wagon. Moving back to the second wagon behind the first wagon. It is slightly different, and I'm sure some of you have noticed this on your 2-day trek. While every other wagon is essentially the same with minor differences, maybe a different person, guiding the horses, maybe a different horse at the helm. This wagon is fundamentally different. This wagon is not an open air traveling wagon. This is a prison cart. Something that is used to truck criminals from place to place. And who has the highest perception here?
Passive? Or just
Yeah, passive.
13?
Not me.
Yeah, I got 12.
So it would be 13?
Nope.
So, Lix, you have noticed that during the first night, coming out of this wagon's side hole, because it's not a well-built wagon. It's a prison wagon with bars and wood. Streaming through the wood, there is flashes of yellow light.
Okay.
And in this wagon, what do we see?
In this wagon, there is a humanoid. They're about 5'8", glowing hair. It's a neon yellow glow. It emanates from their hair and from somewhere within their center mass and radiates kind of outwards. And they've got what you might think were dwarf clothes, but they're small and big and long and sewn together in a mismatched kind of way. And I'm just sitting there with my staff, uncomfortably.
This wagon is worse than the other wagon, so it makes sense that you would be uncomfortable. Anyone who would like to can also make a religion check, because the driver of this wagon is not a guard. Just let me know if you do.
Yeah. Kara's going to make a religion check. 8.
Anyone else? Anybody?
Decidedly average.
You don't have to. No, it's totally fine. I can go with an 8. I just feel like we should get some higher numbers.
Not better. It was 7.
All right, 8 it is. All right, so this is a pretty obvious faction in the world. You would notice that the person driving the cart is in fact a priest of a cult known as the Luminaries. They are followers of the god Cyrus, Child of Light. So that's what you would know seeing the priest. You've seen them on the trail. You would know that. And you can see the light emanating from the cracks at night and slightly during the day. Sitting in that cart, of course. Are you sitting? Are you crouched? What are you doing?
I'd hopefully be sitting. Is there a bench?
Yeah, there's a
Be on a
crappy bench.
Yeah.
And what are you thinking about while you're sitting there?
Well, I'm just wondering why I'm in a cage, mostly, and why everyone else is in carts.
And while you're thinking that, we're going to flash into your mind. And the first thing that you hear is thunder. And you see flashes of light and rain falling heavier than you've ever heard rain fall outside of your cave. And you hear yelling, "Oh, we've lost our way! Where are we? I don't know! We can't go back!" And you hear boot steps in the mud outside of your cave. What would you like to do?
Well, can I, real quick, are the boot steps getting closer?
Yes.
Considering it's a glowing cave?
Yes.
Yes, alright. Well, I shall stand and greet whatever comes towards me. What's approaching?
Coming through the entrance to your cave, fully drenched in torrential downpour water, is a 4-foot creature. You've never seen anything like this creature. They have a long red beard, and they're squat but muscular, and they are just covered in water. And they look terrified of what they're witnessing in this cave.
I put up my hands and I say, "Who are you? Why are you in my cave?"
They immediately flinch and fall backwards into the mud. scrambling back out of your cave.
It's storming out. Where are you going?
What are you?
I don't know. What are you?
I'm a dwarf. What do you?
Well, I'm
He
not.
looks at his dwarf companions. You notice also when he looks over, shockingly, behind him, there is multiple other dwarfs out there.
Well, I don't think I'm a dwarf, but
Clearly! These dwarfs are terrified. They have no idea what you are. That is obvious.
I mean you no harm. I've just been here a long time alone.
I bet. We've never even seen this island.
What's an island?
And with
Is there
that,
more?
with that, we're gonna pan back out from your head. And taking a step back to the third cart. This cart is also different than the other four, not because it's a prison cart, and not because it's differently built, but because it is absolutely sagging under weight. And leading this cart is not a normal horse. It is a strider. And this is a homebrew thing that I'm making. A strider is a combination of a spider and a horse. So it is, imagine a horse with 8 legs and 8 eyes and the torso of a spider.
That is terrifying.
Are they horse legs?
Yes,
On a spider
they're
body?
horse legs on a
Does it
spider
have
body.
does it have a spider head or a horse head?
Horse head with
Too many
pinchers,
eyes.
like,
Too
yeah, and
many
8
eyes.
eyes.
Oh,
We're gonna need art of this later.
Yeah, if anyone's an artist, feel free.
It's cool.
take some
But
minis.
pulling this
Horse slept near.
pulling this wagon is that strider, and in this wagon, sagging under all that weight, we find ourselves with 2 individuals, merrily making a ruckus of conversation, talking about past battles and drinking partners and everything. We see a large male orc, and who else?
You see just this pale white 7.5 foot Goliath sitting there giving quite just a rousing speech of just past battles and things he's done in his adventures and whatnot. Nothing in particular, you know, we're kind of just like, oh, I beat this. And he's like, yeah? Well, I beat this, you know? And I'm like, oh, yeah?
Trying to one-up each
Well, I
other.
beat this.
And that, right as you say that, the orc looks shocked, and we flash into your mind to see what you beat. The sky is overcast. There's a light rain in the air, and we hear a. What are you in the process of killing, Rondarog?
Right in front of me is the biggest bear you have ever seen. This isn't just, you know, your average 6 foot grizzly bear. This thing towers over me. It's about 12 feet tall. It's a monster of a grizzly bear that's been plaguing a town recently. And the only way someone can stop it was just me at this night. And it's thrown down my sword. I'm getting just drenched in scars. This battle has been probably going on, I'm guessing, for a while now, you know?
And in the background of this battle, there is mountains, and at the foot of the mountain, you can see about maybe 200 feet away, is a small village with all concerned citizens watching from the small village. And roll me a strength check to see how well you're subduing this bear.
11.
So right as you think you have this bear in a grapple from behind, the bear spins around and he claws your throat, and you just start gushing hot blood. This just gets you angrier, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's about the last moments that I can feel, you know? Just kind of coming up, you know, I've been sapped of all my strength.
So what do you do?
In that moment, I'ma just wrap all I can around that bear, try to go around the back of him and just, you know, wrap him up almost in an even bigger bear hug, you know? Bear hug the fuck out that bear.
Bared.
And are you just squeezing?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to give it the good old, like, suplex, like a good German suplex, you know? I don't know if there's any WWE fans out there, but straight up, right over the back of me, just gonna try to pile that bear down.
Yeah, roll me a strength check. Or athletics, your choice.
That's a 9. We are all rolling though.
You do get the bear over your shoulder, but he falls on you. Now you're struggling on the ground with this bear on top of you. You're still holding him from behind. At this point, you're hearing the villagers start to cheer. Run, 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 run. Roll one more time with advantage.
All right.
So you roll twice.
Yeah.
Take the higher number.
We got it. We'll make it nerd rain a little bit in here.
ASMR.
Yeah. Alright, find a good one. There we go. Oh my god. That is...
It has to be great.
It would be if I was at a casino because I rolled 2 7s there, like, and that plus strength, that's a 10. So we are just...
It's our highest roll.
God.
I feel like at this point, you're just choking it out from behind.
Right.
But you realize that this is not going to be enough to finish this bear. This bear is struggling, and it's gotten up and has started to walk towards the village with you on its back. It is clearly going to harm these villagers if you do not stop this bear.
I scream no, and I stand on the bear and jump and just, give it that good old Bruce Lee stomp down, You ever see that movie where he just jumps up and he's like, ah! You remember that Taekwondo move, the one where you basically go for the full kill jumping down on someone,
Go for it. Last roll. You gotta hit it this time.
You are proficient in athletics, which means you can add proficiency to your roll.
Okay. All right.
More bonuses.
All right. Come on, baby. That's you really gotta. Okay. So that's 16 plus athletics plus strength.
It should just be plus athletics.
Okay, so 21 altogether.
21. Well, with that roll, you definitely do come down on this monstrous bear. The biggest bear I've ever seen, in fact. And kill it. As you kill it, thematically, thunder hits and the ground shakes. And it's almost like this is a defining moment for you. How do you finish it? Tell me about it.
I can feel my feet go right through this bear's spine, as you can hear, along with the thunder, almost a bone-curdling crack under my foot, as you feel this bear fold almost in half, back broken.
And right as that happens, you do notice that there's new people in this town. People that weren't there cheering for you only moments ago. They look to be guards of some kind of order. They all have the same uniform on, and they're standing in disbelief as you come down and break this bear's spine. And we're gonna fade back out of your head.
Wow.
You
Ron
hear
Herman broke a bear's back out.
That bear took some back, Sean.
Hot damn.
Ah, damn.
But with that, we fade out of that wagon and into the next one. And in the next wagon, there is 2 humanoid creatures jauntily getting along. It seems like they're having quite the conversation. You can hear it from both the Rondarog's wagon and Kara's wagon can both hear their conversation. They're cracking jokes. They're laughing. It sounds like, honestly, the best wagon to be in that none of you are in. And fade back into the 5th and
Let's
final.
drink some more mead!
Fade back into the 5th and final wagon, where in that wagon sits
Kara, a 5'3" human woman, moderately muscular, not a ripped bodybuilder, but she's been on the road for these many long years. And her skin is a light beige, starting to darken under this. What time of year is it?
It is like spring.
Yeah, so a light beige starting to darken under this spring sun.
I'd say late spring.
Okay. Her brown hair is approaching dirty blonde as it gets bleached by these many days on the road. And her eyes in the sunlight glisten a little golden and brown.
Awesome. And in that wagon with you is a human woman. She is 5'5", has long brown hair that falls just above her belly button. And she's just been the nicest travel companion to have in this wagon with you, asking you a lot of heartfelt questions, learning about your history, just all around being a very nice woman. And her name is Lydia Fontana. And she is a druid, and she's just happy to be your traveling companion and excited to see where we're all going to end up. What are you guys talking about in that wagon, Levi?
So at this point, they've moved on from the basic questions, and Lydia just asked, all right, getting down to girl talk, when was your last tryst?
There's some giggling, and she says, you know, it's just us girls, I guess. It could be just us girls, fuck you!
This is the best.
Honestly, it's been a while. How about you?
I mean, you could say a while. Could have been, just this winter, I think. He was a beautiful young man, but...
And with that, we flash into your mind. What do we see? Describe what you're thinking about when you're thinking about this man.
So this was, like she just said, a couple months ago, back as winter was still set, but maybe starting to lighten its grip. They had just finished solving a catastrophe in a nearby town at this point where they were. The creek had dried up, and working together with this young man, they had found the source. Some goblins had created a crude dam, and they exterminated the goblins and cleared up the dam. And then while celebrating at the tavern that night with all the townsfolk, they hit it off. And then the next morning, I'm not going to go into gory details. You can find that elsewhere.
Or on this podcast, if we get paid enough. In the morning, the man was still there, which I don't know if that's a shock for you.
It is a little bit, Dakara. Usually, there have only been a couple people that have stuck around more than just that bit.
And he seemed really interested in getting to know you and really getting involved. But he's also part of an order. And that order was just here to solve the mystery. So, unfortunately, he does have to leave later that week. But he insists that a person like you with good intentions and a calling from the gods will fit perfectly into that order. And he slides you a card.
Kara takes the card and reads it over, recognizing the name, and accepts.
We fade back out to current time. Wagons going down the horse trail. Some horses are more spider than horse. I can't make spider sounds. I don't know. Someone make some spider sounds.
Way
That's
too
like,
many
that's like
clops.
Tom's worst nightmare.
I thought about that afterwards. I'm like, this is really fucking cool. I like
That's
it.
it. Yeah, it's really cool. It's also really scary to picture in my head.
It's just worse Sleipnir.
After another hour or so on the road, walking in silence with the occasional murmur from a guard or song from a songbird, you come to your destination. The forest suddenly ends, and in front of you, you see a narrow, long bridge spanning a chasm to a cliffside across the way. On that cliffside is what looks to be some kind of structure. If you had to put it in words, you'd say not a great fort. A fort made of things around here.
All right, Ford.
An all right fort.
Is that a popsicle stick?
And you hear one of the guys go, whoa, 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 and the horses all stop at the edge of the cliff. And you say, we can only go one at a time past this point. And the first wagon to pull over the ridge is going to be Eon.
Moving, guys.
Good job.
Eon gets to the gate, and you hear from above the gate people yelling, "Who goes there?" And the priest in the front of the horse yells, "Father Maximum!" And they go, "Ah, we've been expecting you!" And the gate opens up, and the wagon goes through. The gate immediately closes behind. And you hear talking and shouting from inside the gate. Not malicious shouting, just like hails and greetings from across the chasm. The chasm is not super wide. I'd say it's about 50 feet across, in case anyone was wondering. The next wagon to go across is going to be the wagon full of the Fae. So Lix and Lim.
Did they segregate people?
No, someone on one side of the table too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. Dia did the seating chart, so maybe it's her fault.
Right.
You go across, and basically the same thing happens. They ask who goes there. The guard shouts his name, and they go, "Oh, you old so and so."
As the guards yell who goes there, I look over at Lix and make a jerk off.
How does Lix respond?
Lix is just gonna snort into himself.
The other elf in the back looks offended at you. I never. And the gate opens up, and you go.
I'm sure he does.
You're so funny.
I don't think he gets much action.
Third across the way is a spider horse. Followed by
Spider horse.
Spider
horse.
Oh, God damn it. I did not intend for this to happen. The Strider crosses
No one
the
intends
bridge.
for Spider Horse.
Wait, what does the spider horse do?
Whatever a spider horse
The
does.
Spider horse crawls to the underside of the bridge. The wagon falls. Everybody in the wagon dies. I hope you're happy.
That's not funny anymore.
Good campaign, guys. Good campaign.
That's a friends clap. I just accidentally did the friends clap.
My babe.
They see the spider horse and they all look down immediately and just open the gate. There's no words as you get pulled through the gate. When you go across the bridge, the other lip though, the wagon is so low that it does bottom out across the bridge, and you guys hear a scraping sound as it pulls into the gate. Next is the fourth wagon full of the two humanoid creatures, and they don't even ask who goes there. They notice it's someone that they recognize. They just leave the gate open, and you hear the wagon go through, and you swear you hear like music coming from that wagon somehow, and it just rolls right in.
Got Spotify in this world?
And lastly, Kara and Lydia are crossing the bridge, and as they're crossing the bridge, Lydia goes, "I'm so nervous," and she reaches out to hold Kara's hand. Do you accept the hold?
I put my hand out. I don't really look at her. Like, Kara just puts her hand out and lets her hold onto it.
Do you seem to think that that seems to comfort Lydia as they cross the threshold, and as they get through to the entrance of the gate, you hear one of the guards ask, "Who goes there?" The guard announces himself, and in the back, you hear Lydia say, "And Lydia," and the guard goes, "Again?"
Ooh.
As the gate closes behind you. All right, so rolling into this heap,
all the work.
Yep.
Rolling.
rolling into this
Noblin,
heap,
noblin, noblin.
you do see that it is, it's a you guys have all been to keeps at some point in your life. You've all been in I meant your characters, not you guys. Y'all look at me like I've never been to a keep, motherfucker. You've all seen keeps. You've all heard of keeps. It just looks like your average campsite surrounded by fortified walls, and it is on a cliff. So outside of the walls is a cliff. On each of the wall's corners, there is a lookout tower, as you can see here. There's lookout towers on each corner.
I made noise and that freaked me out.
And on the very back, there is a lookout tower that's larger than the other lookout towers, with doors underneath, which look to lead to some kind of tavern-esque setup, like a kitchen tavern eating area, a general hub spot. Standing around the keep, there are multiple guards, not as many as you'd think, but enough, a respectable amount for a smaller keep. I'm just counting, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It looks like there's 8 guards, 9 guards maybe, walking around, and one dwarf that looks pretty old standing over a large table with a map on it. Your horses are going to pull up and start dropping you off over here.
Oh my god.
Drifting horse.
So who wants to get out first?
guess
I do.
people-
Can I get out?
No.
Well,
Do you,
Stupid question.
do you try and get out?
I definitely just stand up and then wait by the
So
door.
I did mention that your horse came in first. So by this point, your wagon is already there. You are clearly still in the hold, but the priest that was driving the wagon has clearly parked the horse and has been talking to the dwarf.
I'm just waiting at the door, standing, like just hand holding my hand.
So you guys just see the priest discussing feverishly with the dwarf as you roll up. I'm gonna say that Spider Horse comes next.
Alright.
Rolls up, and out walks the orc male, laughing and high-fiving a Goliath behind him. Do you have to bend to get get under the door? And as you two leave the wagon springs back up. Like it has just been weighed down that entire time.
Right. Want to pet the spider horse on the way out.
Give me an animal handling check
Okay.
to pet Spider Horse.
I am proficient.
Proficient.
In that. It does not matter.
It's a 4 plus 3, so 7.
You go to pet the horse, and the horse hisses at you.
You didn't know. Listen.
I'm like, oh!
For everyone who's on the audio version, he flicks the horse off. Okay, and also as you're being dropped off, the carts are starting to leave the premises as well.
What's the opposite of subtitles?
What?
What's the opposite
Audio
of subtitles?
Audio,
Audio description.
description.
Dom
yeah.
title?
Dom title. That's the name of this. Great job. That's the name of this episode. Episode 1. Dom titles. Thank you, Devin. At this point, you basically have all pulled up. The last to pull up is going to be Kara and Lydia, but the wagon containing Lix and Lim has pulled up as well. Do you guys do anything cool as you exit the premise?
I'm gonna like get off and go to the box that I saw glowing
Okay.
and like try to peer inside.
Here, I'll try to move everybody.
Am I like? Is it an open cage or is it like a closed?
It's like a shit.
wagon
So
cage?
it's like bars, and then there's
Okay.
wooden paneling over the bars,
Okay.
but there's gaps in the wooden paneling. So if you're close, the only thing that's streaming through right now is a little bit of light. It's more light at night, but you can, if you get up close, you can definitely look in, and you can see out the cracks as well.
You just see me waiting at the door. I'm standing still enough to where you're like, is that alive?
I think there's a person in there, but they're not moving.
You hear this. You totally hear this, by the way. So Lix is peering through the one little eye hole. What color is your eye?
The knockdown.
It's like a hazily.
You just see a little hazel eye, pupil extremely small because there's so much light coming in at you.
This person's really bright. They're emitting a lot of light. Did not mean for that to rhyme.
I'm no expert, but that's not normal.
I definitely turned, but I don't know where exactly you are yet. So I like looking around. Hello?
Hi.
Who said that?
You see an eye just in a crack
It
right
takes
now?
you a hot minute to give me like visual directions to find you.
Just follow my voice. Just follow my voice.
Oh, hello. You're small.
So are you.
No.
Fair enough.
I don't realize you're taller than me because I'm up in a
I'm
wagon.
like crouched to look
And
at
you're
you.
like, I'm like looking down at you.
What a real and true interaction.
I overhear the conversation. I'm just like, everyone's short. Like, in my head, yeah.
What are you imagining when you hear everyone else is short?
I'm just like, yeah. I mean, I'm technically short among Goliath standards, so you know, like, feels kind of good to be like the tall one out of everybody for once. You know, that's just like real life coming through. You know, like.
The orc rivals you a little bit. Like the orc is probably 6'8" on a good day when he lies about his height.
Yeah.
Little orc heels.
Orc pumps. At that moment, after you basically, as Lydia and Kara step off, Lydia immediately like removes her hand from yours.
I had already dropped her hand.
Okay, well, rude. First of all. Second of all,
getting up.
ouch. Third of all, what are we? No, but you guys walk as basically Lydia's the last person off of their wagon, and the wagon starts to turn and disappear. But as they take a step off the wagon, you hear from the large table where the dwarf and the priest are. Well, I can't keep transporting her base to base. We need to figure out what to do with them. And then you hear the dwarf go, "That's not my problem, and this base is not the place for something like that." And they point at the cart.
They seem to be fighting about you.
Yeah, you know, they just came kind of. They're like, come with us, and then I was like, yeah, and now I'm behind bars. I don't know. I was gonna go with them. I don't know why they put me in a box. Can you let me out?
I can certainly try.
During this, they keep arguing back and forth. The guards are patrolling the perimeter, eyeing you guys up. If anyone would like to, it's a little quieter now. You are welcome to try to hear what they're talking about, but you wouldn't be able to hear from this. You only heard that part because they shouted it. So, what would everyone like to do?
Did I hear what Lick said? Did I hear Lick say he could try?
Yes. You're close. You're all kind of grouped up. You all kind of stepped off into the same area.
Mm-hmm.
So you would be, that sounds reasonable.
So I'm going to very slowly fly over to ear level with Licks. I'm going to say, "Hello, darling. I noticed you're going to try something, and I'd also like you to notice that you're surrounded by walls and what looks like some kind of mercenary, and if not, very dirty local militia."
You look up, and Lim is very correct. There is disheveled, dirty men on the walls eyeing you, almost leering you to try something. You know, like looking, waiting for you to try something.
I'd also like you to notice that there are no jail cells here. So if you're thinking of trying anything, you might want to try resisting that urge. And then I fly away.
Make a persuasion check, actually. Let's see how convincing this is.
13.
Okay, so this is pretty sound advice, it sounds like, coming into your ear. You can decide what you want to do with it, but it seems genuine and helpful.
Reasonable.
Reasonable.
I just don't want you to get fucking shot.
Can I hear you?
I mean, I'm right next to the hole that...
Yeah.
I just said that. I was just gonna say that's a good advice.
That's a good advice.
Do you know why you're here?
I was given a card with some coordinates. And I followed. That's about...
The coordinates that you received took you to a place in the Elven capital. It was a building that clearly was important at one time and is now run down. And in that building, there was people dressed in the same uniform that are currently on the walls. And they said, "Can we see your card?" You give them the card, and they put you in a waiting room. And later, almost like an hour later, Lim also walked into that waiting room. And after that, you were put into something you've never seen before. It was a circle on the ground, and then they poured something over it. Something you've never seen, a glowing dust of some kind. And suddenly, you were in front of a stable with wagons in a part of the world that you've never been.
I think I'm just gonna try to kind of paraphrase, relay that.
Yeah. I was just explaining how you
Yeah.
and Lim both ended
Yeah.
up where you are.
Is Father Maximum the leader of our traveling group?
It just seems like the guards were guiding the horses, and Father Maximum just happened to be the one driving the prison cart. But he's not necessarily in any circumstance a leader of anything here.
Did I take carts the whole way here?
You were blindfolded most of the way. It's only been recently that they allowed you to see, because the carts that the way you were traveling in before weren't prison cells. They were like ships, and you can assume are ships. But you could actually see out of, or you couldn't. They didn't want you to see, so they blindfolded you. And then when you got to an enclosed cart, they figured you wouldn't need a blindfold anymore.
That's not useful.
But you do know that it was a pretty long travel, I'd say, from the time you were found. Travel time, probably about a week, including the 2 days that you were with this wagon chain. So 5 days to get to there, then 2 days on the chain. So you get this advice from Lim. How would you like to proceed?
I think I'll just kind of like look around a little bit, look at all of the people, and then turn back and just go, well, I certainly could try, but it doesn't appear I should.
That's fair. That's fair.
My apologies. What's your name?
Eon.
Eon. Nice to meet you. My name's Lix.
You hear, well, fine, then you can just have them. And you hear a shove past the dwarf. And it's funny because he's a human, so he's like 5'5", and the dwarf is like 3'11". So when he shoves him, he just kind of like almost knees him in the face and pushes past him to the cart. Father Maximus is clearly angry and storming towards the cart.
I'm getting away from that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just...
I'm just slowly floating away from whatever drama seems to be happening here.
I always like to overhear shit, so I'll just...
The crowd
Oh,
part.
if he's staying, I'm gonna fly behind Ron.
Yeah, you can let it. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, you need the juicy details. Yeah, I get it.
No, it just seems like Father Maximus is storming towards the cart where Eon is, and is clearly intending to get on the cart again. So, making their way downtown. Walking fast. Facing
I
or
hold
passing?
onto the cart. I'm like, wait. I just grab it, like.
Father Maximus has 1 foot in the saddle of the horse and is about to swing the other one over, and he looks back at you and says, "What are you doing?"
I don't know. We were all brought here together. I figure why not bring the last person out?
You could hardly call this a person. He spits.
I have...
Is it just like a padlock holding this whole cart together?
Yeah, it's basically like a simple lock on a hinge, yeah.
Can I just roll to break it off, real quick? Just give it a good ol'.
Give me, before you do that, because are you immediately doing that, or were you trying to intimidate him before that? Because it sounded like you were trying to intimidate him when you grabbed the cart.
Yeah, I'll grab the cart. I'll be like, listen, you can let them out, or I can let them out,
The guards on the palisades are looking down at you, and you can see one grabbing his crossbow and starting to pull it back. And Father Maximus goes, "I was going to let them out when I wanted to. And if you don't want to," and he points at the guards on the palisades, "then I would let go of my cart."
Fine.
Do you let go?
Yeah.
The cart shifts. It's not a well-built cart. and Father Maximus swings his other foot back. He was 1 foot in the stirrup, and he swings it back out and gets back down on the ground. And he walks past you, and like when he walks past you, he's like trying to glare. But this is what I say, like a 5'8" man. He's glaring at you upwards.
Trying to act big.
Yeah, he slowly walks past, and he gets to the latch, and he whispers something, and the latch glows gold and unlocks, and falls to the ground, and the doors swing open.
Hello.
He looks disgusted when you talk, and moves backwards, and he gets back on his horse. Do you step out of the cart?
Yeah, he let me out.
And he gets back in the cart, and he swings his horse around, and he yells at the dwarf who's still peering over the maps. And he goes, "I'll expect a full report!" The dwarf just shakes his hand backwards, doesn't even look, as Father Maximus rides his horse out through the gates and away, leaving you in the keep altogether.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
nice to see you outside of the cage now.
It's nice to be outside. It's been very dark. Painfully dark. No stars.
Seems surprising with how much light you seem to emit.
Yeah, you're bright as hell.
Just the sky's been dark.
I guess. So what are you?
I'm me. I don't. What am I?
Anyone is welcome to make a nature check if you would like.
I
I
that's counts off of intelligent. No. Yeah, I'll do that.
I think that's wisdom.
Nope.
I could be
Nature
wrong.
is. Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I got it. Sure.
Dang.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Check what the hell you want.
For as long as I can remember, I've drifted amongst the stars. Till recently, I ran into something, and all of a sudden I woke up here, with hands that don't look like myself.
You have hands?
I have hands.
Clearly has hands. Humanoid figure. What did you guys get for nature checks?
I rolled a 16.
13.
16.
You and the orc are currently wrestling. You have fucked off completely from this
It
conversation.
started
Wait,
as
what was that?
It started
Who the
as
fuck
an
cares?
Armbrustino, and it immediately
Yeah,
went
you were
into
sitting at one of the
full
tables
boy.
with the orc, and now it's full on
You know what?
wrestling.
That wasn't interesting.
So 16 was the highest.
Yeah.
Both of you are just like, this is a star, but a person. With a 16, you would know that you've never seen or heard of anything remotely similar to what you're looking at currently.
Okay. With that observation, I am going to fly myself over to one of these tables behind the dwarf, have a seat on the edge, and wait for him to not be busy with the maps or whatever it is he's doing.
Okay.
Carl just looks at Eon and goes, "So you're a star?"
Yeah. Isn't everybody?
No.
I mean, you don't look very.
Lydia pushes into the conversation. I know I'm going to be a star one day.
That's
like
great.
this?
That's great.
Wasn't that why we all joined, to further our futures and help out and be stars?
I don't think you mean like this.
She turns and looks at you. This is the first time Lydia has looked at Eon. She goes, "Oh!"
Hello.
Not like that.
Okay, that makes much more sense.
You hear a crash as Ronarog and the orc break through another table. Roll me a athletics check.
Alright.
We'll do a contested athletics check. So,
Bloody character to look at.
God, everything is rolling bad tonight.
what'd you get?
7.
I also got a 7.
Yeah, it's pretty
You're in a
even.
deadlock. Like you crashed through a table and then you stood back up and you guys are like in the clinch, in the grapple. Like you guys are in the middle of it, fighting with each other, laughing. And the humanoid man has also walked away because he doesn't want anything to do with the star person. That's just a regular human, sorry. And the elf disgustedly looks at you and also walks towards the dwarf.
Do we know why? Like, now looking at Eon, why people are hating on them?
I mean, as far as you can you can give me an insight check if you'd like to see.
Yeah.
Are they hating on them? They're different, you know, like the age-old question.
I think it look cool
Like,
as fuck, so.
It is 8.
An 8? As far as you can tell, it's just because there's nothing like them. No one's ever seen anything like them. And they don't know how to treat.
They hate it because it's different.
Yeah.
They hate it.
Yeah.
Because they ain't it.
Also, like, since the calamity magic's a lot harder, and I look pretty stinking
Pretty
magical.
magical?
Yeah.
Pretty magical.
Which is
Well-
scary, because it's hard to get now.
Well, while everyone else is waiting, I'm gonna go try and find some food.
Alright, give me a
I'm just gonna
perception
walk
check.
into the tavern.
Yeah, walk in
food
there, give me a
area.
perception check.
Can I make a perception check?
Yes, you can. What do you
I
make a
want to
perception
see
check
if I notice that my clothes don't fit right, and if I can find clothes that fit better, that aren't dwarf clothes.
for? Roll for it.
Ooh, 11.
What'd you get? 8. You walk in, and there's a guard in there, and he's clearly working over some kind of kitchen. Looks like he's making some kind of food, a stew of some sort. There's bread on the stove. Would you go for the bread?
I
Or
would,
the stew?
I would ask.
He goes,
Is food almost ready?
it'll be ready soon. Just leave for now. I will let you know.
Fine.
So you walk back out, and as you walk back out, well, let's resolve what happened with your perception check. You do find clothes that'll fit you. The thing is, they're in someone else's tent. You were just going through someone's tent, and
It's
you
better than
come out
on
wearing
somebody.
you come out wearing the clothes, and you hear a man from a palisade go, "Hey, wait a minute!"
I'm just gonna see.
Let them have the clothes, it's fine.
I'm just not gonna say it. Yeah, I'm just not gonna.
And as that happens, he goes, "Hey, wait a minute!" And as Carl walks back out, the dwarf slams his hands on the table and he goes, "Well, I suppose we should get to it then." And turns around to face you. Before you stands a dwarf, like I said, about 3.5, 4 feet tall, in that range somewhere, with white beard, white mustache, gray white hair, just salt and pepper. Beautiful man, dwarf. And he's got an eye patch over one eye. And he does not look pleased to see you, but he doesn't look unpleased either.
Can I give him a dwarven hello?
Well, you're all the way across the
Oh,
way
never
at a
mind.
tent.
I thought he was standing before us.
He's
Where?
so essentially the dwarf
Which one
is
is he?
at this table over yonder.
I'm gonna have gone with you.
You're just
I'm just keeping an eye.
No, sorry.
I like this. I like this.
Approves of the
I like
casual
this
stealing.
version.
Yeah. So if you get close, you could definitely give him a hello.
Okay. Yeah, once I get clothes on and I see everyone else crowding
You
around,
accidentally run into somebody.
I'll join the group.
Awesome. So you go to give him a traditional dwarven hello. What does that look like?
Definitely a good hand clasp, you know? I don't know.
Good dab. Just
Yeah, hello in Dwarven?
Classic traditional dwarven greeting looks like.
Do
Little dwarf dap, classic.
I
We do a little
was.
dwarf dapping around here.
dwarf dabbing. A little bit.
Let me get dwarfy.
I guess you'll find out why I know Dwarven.
But yeah, the dwarf looks surprised and breaks into a hearty laugh. Oh, you don't see that every day. And he claps hands with you in a intricate but subtle, like it's like a dap, and then there's like a small change, and then fingers that do something like this. It's like,
Secret hand signs.
and then there's
secret
like a
handshake.
slap, another slap, and then a slow slide away.
Yeah, I'm never gonna repeat that.
That's why it's on camera.
yeah,
Play
This
that
is
back.
homework.
for the records.
And the dwarf goes, "Well met. Sounds like you're my problem now."
I don't want to be a problem.
Good. Because problems, and he looks at the rest of you, don't make it long here.
As Ron and Haran and the orc are breaking another table.
He's making an intimidation check. I need you all to roll a
20?
what is the what's the save?
Charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw.
Jesus.
13.
21.
7.
I cannot
Dear?
roll.
Eon, sorry.
11.
All right. So the only one that is immune to the intimidation, the power in his voice is Lim. You are not affected by this at all. But since you rolled so high, you can roll performance to pretend like you are. If you want.
No.
Okay.
No.
So everyone else, you feel the power in his voice as a man with authority. And he goes, "Listen, recruits. You are here because you have been chosen. Why you were chosen could be different from person to person. But I am here to test and to make sure that we made the right choice. Any questions?"
We're recruits?
Remember in your memory where the man handed you a card and said you would do well in an organization? This man bears the same emblem on his tunic as that organization. So I don't know if you would still ask that question. Sorry, I just wanted to give you some feedback.
Does the card say anything about, like, what the joining process is?
Nope, it just had the emblem, which, by the way, the emblem is a star, and it looks like it's falling on a shield. And anyone that wants to can make a a history check. You probably would have done it when you got the card too. So
11.
6.
Why did I do good at that?
it's a DC 5, so I'm just gonna throw it out there. It's a very easy check.
21? Don't know why I know anything about them, but...
Okay, we'll get to you in a minute. What'd you get, Ron Rock?
Plus history, 7.
I didn't roll.
Okay. Everyone at the table immediately knows and recognizes this emblem as the Dawn Spire. For reference, the Dawn Spire is the major organization that is in control of every capital city in the world. They are the only semblance of order in Khalos. So it's like the government, essentially, for lack of a better term.
The world government.
Everyone knows that besides Eon. Eon, you see the symbol and you go, "Oh, it's me," and you point at the star. That's why you got the 21. Well, the 21, you recognize a star.
Yeah.
Hey.
I didn't know we
Dwarves
were
have
to
a
be
star.
tested.
Well, how else are we supposed to know if you're worthy of joining the greatest organization in Khalos?
Why'd you recruit us in the first place?
It varies from person to person. I have a list here, and he pulls out a list, and he starts flipping through pages, and he stops on a couple of them and looks back and looks down again and goes, "Huh, interesting. Mundane. He says under his breath. Very interesting. And then he stops at 1 second from the top and he goes, "Again?" And then he goes, "I don't seem to have a page for you, my dear."
Well, the dwarves found me a long time ago. And then eventually you sun people showed up and grabbed me, took me. I was said I'd go, but then they put me in a box. So,
"Oh," he says, "that's what that was about. Yes, the luminaries, if anyone wants to make a religion check, can. The luminaries tend to drop off their unwanted goods with the Dawn Spire for safekeeping."
It was a 7.
Yeah, 6.
Ooh.
16.
16.
What's it plus?
Religion.
17.
17. So both Tom and not Tom, Ranarog and Lim would know that luminaries are the disciples of the god Cyrus, Child of Light. They believe that Cyrus is still around and will one day manifest and come back in the form of a humanoid creature. So they tend to scour the earth looking for anything that resembles Cyrus, and then pass it off to the Dawn Spire to be tested. Because they have the most resources, you know?
Gotcha.
And so he just jots down a note about that, essentially, and goes, all right, here's what we're going to do. You 5, and he points at you 5. I'm going to need you to go wait inside the kitchen.
Okay.
Sweet.
Now, march!
He just told me to come back out here.
Who?
The cook.
Fuck the cook, I'm the captain!
Fair enough.
Go! And he points at the kitchen door.
Which way is the kitchen?
It's the big building.
Do any of us march?
You know how to march? Does anyone know how to march?
I'm taking my sweet time.
I fly.
I can't like line up the strides like quick enough like to catch on. How do you?
It's like doing a half step.
Yeah.
Rhythmic.
Can I try on our way in to ask the captain for a private word?
You can make a persuasion check to try, yes, if you
Okay.
like.
Yeah. So on my way in, I'll just say, Captain, a word. And 16.
Make it quick.
Why is the Dawn Spire keeping us all here together with what could be a humongous piece of Arcanite that can feel angry and scared?
He looks at Eon, he looks back and forth, and he goes, I assume you're talking about the glowing thing.
I'm absolutely talking about the glowing thing, yes.
Well, that's not Arcanite. And he points at Eon. It just says with certainty.
And you know this.
Yes, because this is, and he pulls out a pebble of, and this, I don't know if this is the first time you've seen it, but you guys just see Lim and the captain just talking quietly, and he pulls out something from his pocket, and there's like a glint, and there's a shudder in the air. But you don't see exactly what it is. I feel like they're positioned in a way that you don't see everything. And he goes, this is.
I ask you to keep in mind that in a world where even the positions of the gods are negotiable, what a rock may or may not look like can be as well. And then I fly away.
He kind of chuckles and he goes, things never change. And he turns back and starts to walk towards the other 5 that are still out here. He turns back towards you right as he gets to the other 5, and he goes, close the door! And the guard in there walks to the door, and he closes you guys in with him, and then just goes back and keeps cooking. And you hear sounds from outside. You hear clearly like they're talking. You hear laughing. You hear someone go, oh, okay, woo. You hear like muffled rumblings of a conversation. And you guys are in this room with the one guard just cooking.
I turn to Lydia and go,
Lydia's not in. Lydia's outside. It's just you five in this room.
well,
Yes,
I was.
the 5 of us.
I look for Lydia and there's
Just
no
the
Lydia.
5 of us. That's too many for this room.
Yeah. How cramped is it with
It's not.
Ron
It's
Haran in here?
let me check. It's pretty big. It's a large, it's a keep, like essentially with a large kitchen dining area for all the soldiers.
Well, aren't we special? Any informed opinions on what makes us so valuable?
No.
I just go where I'm needed. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's like 25 feet across, just so you know.
I was told I could help, or that they could help me get to the stars.
I'm really good at getting my hands on things.
The guard laughs when you say that. Like, need that around here. Keeps cooking. Spoon hitting the side of the bowl. You hear what sounds to be the group outside walking away. You hear footsteps getting softer and softer and softer. And you hear the gates out front open up and close again. And it's quiet.
Well, I suppose that's not the band coming in then.
I'd agree. It didn't seem like much of a band to me. Although I am curious why they split us into 2 groups.
The guy goes, "Do you really not know?" He just fucking keeps spitting.
Nobody told us anything.
I addressed the whole room if you'd like to share, sir.
He goes, "Oh, you're just being tested. Everyone has to be tested. But when we get multiple recruits, we gotta break them up into groups."
And this is our test.
No.
Just waiting in here.
Test starts later. And then right as he says that, you hear not far away, it sounds like from the other side of the keep, yelling, and then like a...
Someone just get executed?
Not me.
The guard doesn't seem phased at all. He just keeps fixing.
So
You hear another guard outside go, "Bruce!" He goes, "Yeah, when's dinner? Probably after this group goes." "Okay.
I want dinner.
It'll be ready when it's ready." Slaps your hand again.
Bruce.
You'd like to investigate him a bit more about like what the test could possibly incur.
Do an investigation check. Yeah. Are you trying to talk to him? Yeah, are you trying to talk to him?
I was gonna say my investigation and intimidation seem to be the same, so I kind of want to investigate this time. I don't want to intimidate a dude.
I mean, yeah, you
for
can try
no
getting him
reason.
to tell you anything.
Yeah,
It'll still be investigation.
Just kind of be like curious, not like fucking shake him around. I'm not gonna play good cop and bad cop with him. 12.
Yeah, he's pretty chill. He's just like, changes every time. It's captain's orders. Whatever it feels like doing in the moment.
Did you have to go through a test?
He scoops up some of the slop and looks at it. Adds just a pinch of salt. Drops it back in and goes, "Everybody goes through the test if you're in the Dawnspire."
What was yours?
I had to fight a horse.
Was it a spider?
You see him shudder. When it bit me, I thought maybe I'd get powers.
Maybe some sort of Spider-Man.
I think Horseman would be pretty.
No, but he tells you a story about how he and 5 other people were actually the ones that had to go into the wilderness and find that strider and lasso it and pull it back to camp and break it, essentially, was their task.
Oh. So it just could be a number of anything in the moment, essentially. He doesn't particularly.
I'm not going to say the captain just wants you to do things for him. Slop falls into a bowl.
But
we did need that horse. I just wish it hadn't have killed Ernie.
Oh.
So whatever the captain doesn't feel like doing, he just is like, you guys.
I'm sorry to hear about your friend.
Ernie was a dick, but he was a great man.
Yeah.
And with that, the door kicks open, and at this point, it's probably been about 30 minutes of you guys just chilling in the room. The smell of the stew is starting to be kind of mouthwatering, because for the past couple days, the only thing that you've had to eat is trail rations, and that's getting old. So this is like the first real meal you smelled in a while, even if it's not great. It smells really good. The door kicks open, and you see Lydia with her hands raised above her head going, "Yeah! Yeah! Followed by the orc fist pumping through the door. And then behind him are the other 3. There was the elf man, whose robes are just torn to shit. And then behind him was the human, and he just looks fine. And then a Kenku, a Kenku. No, wait, yeah, Kenku. The bird, he's a tropical bird man. Is that the Kenku or is that the other one?
No, that's
Anacochra, right?
No.
Aarakocra. Yeah.
Kenkus are just crows.
Yeah, no, it's the bird that's not a crow. That
Yeah,
guy.
Aarakocra.
That's what the other person was. Beating his wings triumphantly.
Did you guys pass?
Hell yeah, we passed, said Lydia. She's like, I've done this test 3 times, and I've failed every time. But this time, I had the right team. And they all high-five in front of you.
I'm not sure if that's something to brag about.
Whatever, we kicked ass! And with that, the captain of the guard walks in and goes, "All right, first group's done. Next group, let's go."
Okay.
and starts to walk out of the.
I'm a little
kitchen.
slow on the uptake and like have to kind of run back to
Come
catch
on.
up.
Right.
So
I'm going after.
Yeah,
I don't care.
so,
I'm just
Captain.
walking right after.
what is our test to be?
You'll see soon enough, and he starts leading you towards the front of the gate.
Right.
And this is at this. We're not gonna need the map for this, so I'm just gonna turn this off. He starts leading you towards the front of the gate, and just marching through. And he turns to all the guards and he goes, "Hey, dinner's ready. Go eat while this group is testing." And the guards go, "Finally! Did Bruce make stew again?" And they go, "Yeah." And they go, "Ah!" And all the guards from the palisade start to exit down the stairs and go into the kitchen, leaving one guy posted at the front of the gate. He leads you out through the large gate and closes one door behind him, and then the guy on top of the gate closes the other door, and you find yourselves on the cliff outside the gate, and he goes, keep up, and he starts to walk around the keep to the left side of the keep, where the cliff just keeps going on and getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And by the time he gets to almost the back side of the keep, you can see that on the cliff ends with basically the keep, and then a cutoff, and out and beyond there is like just the woods, but it's like 100 feet down. And on the left side, there's a cliff, and it's just a chasm, essentially. It's the chasm that you cross with the bridge. It goes 3/4 of the way around the keep, but the back side is just woods. So he pulls you to the left side, and he goes, "All right, wait here." And he walks over to the edge of the cliff. He pulls out something. He starts assembling something. Takes out a hammer. Boom, boom, boom. All right, and he turns back around, and in his hands, it seems like he took a long time to make this, is what looks to be a large, like, 3.5 foot circumference. Is that the one where it's fully around, right, in the circle? Lantern, like, like a paper lantern, almost. And hanging off of the paper lantern is a key. And tied to that key is a rope. And he walks to the edge of the cliff. He lights the lantern. He pushes it out over the cliff, holding the rope. Waits till it's at the end of the rope. He lets go. The rope slowly swings and falls, and at this point, the lantern is floating above the chasm, which is about 100 feet down and 50 feet out. And he goes, "Bring me that key."
I just turn and look
Yeah,
at
I was-
Lim.
At this point, we're going to do a skill challenge. Now, how this works mechanically is you need to have 4 successes as a party before you have 4 failures. How this works is each of you, we're going to roll initiative, on your turn are going to tell me a skill you'd like to use and roll your dice for that skill. You have to beat a specific check that I decide before you roll. And if you beat that check, then it counts as a success, and you further the event along. If you fail, it counts as a failure. Once you've used that skill once, you cannot use it again, whether you fail or succeed. Does everyone understand?
Yep.
Cool. All right, so roll initiative for me.
It's okay.
Why did everyone make the same noise?
If
Oh, I saw Devin's. That's a limbs roll.
we're all bad. We're all
I rolled
shit.
really
sick.
good this
Yeah,
time,
baby.
actually.
We're cursed. This is a cursed
There's
campaign.
no enemies involved. It's okay.
We're all gonna die.
You have no idea.
No, I rolled good this time.
We'll
I
start.
swear.
We'll just go around. We'll start with Lim.
Okay, so floating lantern above a chasm.
No, what is your initiative? What'd
Well,
you get?
I'm just making
Okay,
sure I
sorry.
get the situation right.
Okay,
here.
sorry.
Floating lantern above a chasm, rope going down from the lantern with a key on it.
The key is on. It's coming. So, no. Okay. So
The key is in the lantern part.
yeah, and the rope was just attached to the key to push it off. Essentially.
Oh, okay.
It's about 50 feet out. And just so we are clear, because I know you have wings,
Mm-hmm.
you can use your movement one. You only get your skill once. So if you use the wings to fly, you're 30 feet out there. Then that is, you can only use that once.
Mm-hmm.
You can't use that again to do it. I understand, because wings make everything so much more complicated for flying adventures. But anyways, what is your initiative?
1.
Okay. Wait, that's what you rolled?
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay. I thought you were just saying 1.
you have
like you
Do
have
you have
plus
initiative
1.
bonus?
No.
Oh.
No. Oh, wait. +2.
Okay, so 3.
I was like, what do you mean you don't
3.
have one?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait a minute.
Licks.
I got a 21.
21. Nice.
1.
Kara gets 1. Gosh, darn it, guys. Ronarog,
10.
10. And Eon,
9.
9. Alright, Licks, you were up first.
Okay, so in my things, I do have 50 feet of rope
Mhm.
and a dagger.
Okay.
So I want to tie the rope around the dagger and throw it to the lantern and try to like hook onto it.
Okay, that'll be a dexterity check, and I would say that it is a 10.
Okay, just flat dex.
Do you have any, you want to try something else?
Uh,
It's your skill challenge, so you get to decide what you want to do.
I feel like that's probably the only thing that really applies to that. So
Alright, so you gotta beat a 10.
I decidedly do not beat a 10.
What'd you get?
6.
So, I feel like you tie this, is it like hemp cord or something?
Yeah, it's hemp
You
rope.
tie this hemp cord around this nice dagger, you weigh it in your hands, you arch back, you throw, and you just whiff to the left. It just flies into the chasm. The rope is going through your hands. Do you try to catch it?
Yes.
Alright, yeah, I feel like it's going slow enough that you probably can just catch it.
Okay.
But you did totally miss that shot. With that is Ronharog. That is 1 failure, by the way.
Alright. Does
You
anyone want to get tossed? We have a couple small people here that I think I could heft up pretty well with some athletics.
How's your aim?
It's been a while, and it depends, varies person to person, weight to weight, you know.
Could you just lie? Just real quick, just...
I am the best thrower of all time.
That's better. There you go, big guy. What's your name?
Bone breaker.
Bonebreaker?
Yeah.
Alright, Bonebreaker. That doesn't inspire confidence in me being thrown by you. I'm gonna be honest.
I won't break your bones.
Okay. Okay.
We're on the same team. I don't break team members' bones.
Yeah.
That's my creed.
Only their backs.
Okay, Bonebreaker. Let's do it.
So you're going to use your strength to throw Limb. So what you're going to do for now is hold your action until Limb's turn.
Okay.
With that, it would be Eon's turn.
He's getting all prepared, like you see
Like
me
shot
like
put.
livering up.
Stretching out. Just like, ugh,
You
ugh.
spit in your hand to get it like more
Yeah.
grippy.
Used to do this out when I was young. Just bigger boulders.
Are you going to be using strength or athletics to throw?
Athletics.
So do you want like rope attached to you or
No.
No?
Nope.
That's fair.
I will get thrown once. I will get hung 0 times.
Making this more perilous, like.
Tried many things once. That's not one of them.
Do you know what rope is for?
Yes.
Mm.
Ship sails.
Mm.
What are you doing?
I'm going to, I guess, just assist.
Okay, you will have advantage then. You're going to give the help action to Tom. Tom will have advantage on his throw. With that, we are to Limerence. You are allowed to be thrown by Tom, but what would you like to do when you're getting thrown?
So, the first thing I would like to do is, can I cast Bardic Inspiration with a bonus action? Is that
This isn't like combat, it's just
Okay.
you get one skill to do one thing.
okay?
So
okay,
if you're
then-
Rondrog used his to throw he gets advantage from Eon, like positioning. So you get to do one thing after you're thrown.
Okay, so I'm going to, before I get thrown, Bardic Inspiration on Bonebreaker.
Okay.
Boom. Feel so
All right.
inspired right
Yeah,
now.
I'm gonna go.
So-
I'm putting my hand on his shoulder. You cannot fail this throw.
I cannot fail this throw.
It's impossible for you to fail this throw.
It's impossible for me to fail this throw.
You guys are just watching that. The captain is still there, by the way, and is just standing like back. What the fuck is going on?
I place myself in Ronarog's hand.
Farting every time.
Let's fucking do this.
Limbered
do
up.
you throw a boulder to practice?
All right. What's Bardic Inspiration give me?
You can roll 1d4 after like a roll to add it.
Sweet.
All right,
Does he
so
get-
you need to.
So you don't have to. If it's a good roll, you can just hold
Here's-
on to that.
Here's
I
how
was
this
gonna
is gonna
say,
go.
Yeah.
Here's
I
how
was
this is gonna
say.
Because I have to call the DC before you do it. So you are getting help from Eon to like, I assume Eon's like narrowing in the sights kind of thing, turning you one way or another, positioning your shoulders. You also get advantage for that. So you're trying to throw Lim as far as you can into the chasm.
Like at the lantern. I'm gonna be using sleight of hand for my check.
You already used your check for Bardic Inspiration. Spells count.
I didn't have to roll for that though.
Oh, you just can do that.
It's a cantrip.
Oh,
It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
oh, then you're good. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, because
My
it's
bad.
supposed to be a skill check,
My
right?
bad. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can use spells and skill checks. It's weird.
Okay. Yeah.
But anyways, I thought Bardic Inspiration was a.
Oh, no
spell.
worries.
But
It's not even cantrip, is it?
It's a bard class ability.
anyways,
Yeah.
it's fine. Now you're gonna use sleight of hand. But what I need from Ronarog is you're going to make this check with advantage. If you do 10 or below, it's a failure. If you do 10 to 15, it is a success. If you do 15 and above, you are getting thrown onto the lantern, like right up where you can just grab it.
Okay.
But otherwise, you're gonna make it about halfway, like 30 feet, because it's 50 feet out. So, and your movement is 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Go for it.
Oh, that is. So that's 19 plus 5, 24.
So with that, you just rocket Lim. You're used to
Laser.
flying. You're used to
Yeah.
flying. You are soaring right now, spearheading straight at the lantern. Key hanging underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do with your sleight of hand check?
I would like to grab the lantern and try to steer it back off of the chasm, like with the movement that I do have. Yeah, like tear it towards the chasm, blow out the lantern, and have it like land on the ground next to everybody.
Okay, that's a pretty complex movement.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have the momentum because of Ronarog's throw. So I would say it's still going to be a 10
Mm-hmm.
sleight of hand.
Okay.
If you go above a 10, that'll happen.
12.
Okay, so that happens exactly as you described. You grab it, you blow out the lantern, and you kind of just glide. Are you using your wings to glide back?
Mm-hmm.
Glide back, and you drop it right in front of Kara. That is 3 successes, by the way. You need 1 more to finish this.
I just grabbed the lantern.
What would you like to use to grab the lantern, Kara? Give me a skill. It's a skill check, not I grab the lantern check.
Wisdom.
Okay.
It's right in front of me. I'm just gonna grab it.
Yeah.
Oh.
alright,
You're really
you
smart
gotta
looking
You gotta
when
be
you
at a 5.
That's not a guarantee with how I've been rolling.
Gotta be at a 5.
13.
Dude, I was really hoping you like now wanted to just kick it over the edge.
I wouldn't have been surprised.
You reach down, gently scoop up the lantern, and turn around, and the captain is standing there, clapping, going, "Yeah, yeah, woo!" Who has the highest perception score here?
I think that was me.
Mm-hmm.
You notice behind the captain a shadow, as suddenly a sword comes stabbing through the captain's chest, and blood flies all out from him. And he goes, as you're all standing at the edge of this cliff, Kara holding a lantern. Valorbound is a Lost Cause Media production.
Lost Cause Media.